Morning, everybody. So yeah, I wanted to add a few extra things about this conviction from Wednesday. So first off, I saw the driver turn up at court with somebody who I'm guessing was a solicitor, but may also have been a family member, like maybe his mum. I don't know. And yeah, went into court and wasn't called, obviously because he chose to change his plea to guilty. And I'm really left wondering, why would you take this case to court when the evidence is really very good indeed? So I imagine the police would have offered a fixed penalty notice, which would have been only £200. But by taking it to court, and even with the sort of late before trial guilty plea, it still ended up costing him something like £600 or so, the usher told me. I don't know the exact amounts, I wasn't in court. So one of the theories is that people do take things right up until the court date, just so that there's a chance that the witness won't turn up. In my case, I always turn up. I think there's only one I haven't turned up for, and that's because the CPS sent me to the wrong courthouse. So yes, there is always a chance the witness won't turn up, and then the defense, I mean the CPS, the prosecution has to offer no evidence offered. Just my statement and witness on its own isn't, my statement and video on its own isn't enough. I have to come there and attest to it as a witness. And second thing, I'm not sure, maybe he thought for a long time that maybe he could defend this and that he would have a chance of coming away not guilty. Some people do take some time to, it's human nature, right, to come to the realization and accept that phone driving is wrong and you're likely to get the penalty for it. And then a last and more general theory that I've heard from some of the ushers and numerous people commenting on videos, and not relating to this court case specifically at all, just in general, is that quite a few defense firms apparently will string along a defendant and in order to maximize the fees and take it right up to court, saying they can minimize the consequences. Anyway, we don't know. So yeah, that's that one. Okay, now moving on to these comments from a taxi driver on my Twitter, a chap called Neil Flynn. I thought these were quite interesting. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a couple of images from his own Twitter feed, and these images come in after the law change in 2022, meaning that if they were taken with a phone and if he was still legally driving at the time, they would have been a phone driving conviction if caught by somebody with sufficient evidence. I don't know, he may not have been driving, we can't tell. This is just, but it's my opinion that these look fairly bad. So yeah, then we move on to his tweets, and his first tweet is he's really angry that I might have cost that young man his job. And the answer to that is, well, I didn't make the young man choose to drive on the phone. Nobody did. He chose that. That's his actions. And then, of course, Neil's second tweet on this is that, yes, but nothing would have happened to him if I hadn't reported him, if I hadn't been there. So the answer to that is, well, how would you feel if you didn't report a traffic offence like that? And then later on, they went on to go and kill or seriously injure someone. Speaking generally, of course. The answer is always, it's much better for someone to get some just purely administrative consequences in terms of the 6 points on his license and a fine. That's a pretty small consequence. As for any loss of job, well, that's down to his employer, who I assume are HATS, and or the council they work for. Yeah, I don't hate the young man. I don't do anything other than wish a good life for him. All I want from him is that he changes his future behavior and doesn't drive on the phone, and that hopefully this video stops other people driving on their phones too. Okay, have a good day. Bye. Yeah, good morning everyone. I've just come out of the court for this chap who was driving a 16-seater minibus, using his phone on Holland Park roundabout, which is super dangerous and stupid, and he was moving. So I'm not very happy with that kind of behavior. It's one of the more egregious cases of phone use whilst driving that I've come across. So I believe he pleaded guilty once I turned up, took a fine and costs and surcharge of maybe around £600, I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, so that's it. I came for nothing again, apart from the fact that my appearance is the reason the defendant most likely changed his plea to guilty. Alright, see ya, bye. What are you doing on your phone there, sir?
Hello?
What are you doing on your phone? I can see the screen is lit up. No, it's the one in your hand. What, anything to say to your boss?
I'm going to the right college.
You can't be doing that. I'm going to be reporting it to the police.